Oh, well, that's interesting. Sounds like the live stream's going, which means that we're live on the Norwich Guide Dog Forum Facebook page. I am going to have to edit this. And I just had a message from Cindy. Oh, my God. Right. If this is live, brilliant. This is not what I was expecting. I'm recording this for backup just in case, because I have a really good feeling that I'm going to have to take this all down and start all over again. But anyway, I'm here with Jill and Richard Bussien. I did get that right, didn't I? Did I get that right? I did. Brilliant. Right, I'm starting well at some point today. Who are right the backbone of the Harlesden fundraising group. They're puppy walkers. They're not from Norfolk, I have to say. Came here from other parts of the UK, which we can touch upon later. But if they hadn't, then they wouldn't be puppy walkers here, because puppy walking is a bit tricky, isn't it, in this part of the world. And they have an amazing project going. You've taken pictures of all of your puppies, haven't you, and produced them into a calendar. So so you can show us that a bit later. But can you just give us a bit of background on how you got started? And yeah,
sure. So obviously I'm Richard and my wife here is Jill. Moved up to Norfolk in January of 2019. So we haven't been in Norfolk for that long. Before that we were with a group in Bexley in Kent, helping with fundraising, and we've been puppy walkers for some time in Kent. So we moved up here in January 2019. We were lucky that Guide Dogs allowed us to bring the puppy we had at that time with us, who was Idris, which quite a few people have probably met or seen. In January 2020, we were helping out with Bury St Edmunds group fundraising. Found that it was quite a distance to keep travelling from where we are in Workwell. So asked Mandy if we could start our own little fundraising group in Harlesden. Was told that it'd have to be Harlesden and this fundraising group, which was no problem at all. So we started January of this year.
Okay.
So at that time we had Idris still, and was lucky enough, because they had quite a few extra puppies, we persuaded them to give us another little puppy, who is Vinny, who is now a year old. Idris is back at training at Redbridge now.
Oh, okay.
So we, as I said, we started January 2020. We're quite a small little group. It's basically, I'm a coordinator. Jill is a NAP coordinator.
I'm not a coordinator. When we got puppies and when we were out of COVID, I'm helping Mandy organise the visits with the people that have raised the money.
Yes.
For the puppy to actually meet the puppy.
Yeah.
But COVID has hit.
I know. I'm so bored with this pandemic now.
So am I, yes. So we're quite a small little group. We persuaded our friends that had moved up here in the Norfolk area, who are dog lovers, to become boarders, Mike and Teresa, and persuaded them to come onto the group. Mike is the treasurer, and Teresa is the merchandise coordinator. Also, a puppy walker, Malcolm and Jackie and Malcolm, moved up this way as well with one of their dogs. So we co-opted them into helping us as well. Mandy gave us a couple of names also that were willing to help out in different ways, but we're still quite a very small fundraising group. We started off quite well, because as I said, we only started in January. Managed to get some collections at Morrison's at Beccles. Well, no, we haven't done this. They gave us permission, because it took ages for me to get into this Morrison's for collection, and then all this kicked in. We did do co-op's been very helpful for us. we've done the co-op in Holston, Bungay and Holsworth. And we've also done a small, it was very small, summer fair in our local village, Workwell.
Yeah, I'll tell you
So
what,
that was
I'll
quite
take my
handy.
hat off to you guys who do all the fundraising, because it's yeah, I can do many things, but fundraising is
Can't
just,
hear
I'm
you.
rubbish at. Can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
My audio's on.
Yeah,
right.
it just faded.
We're back.
Yeah, anyway, so I can hear you. I can most certainly hear you.
So we've been trying, obviously, because of what's happening with COVID, we can't do one-to-one collections at supermarkets and this sort of thing. They're not allowing that for obvious reasons. So we had managed to put a full-size collection dog in our local pub who have been helping us out. And I contacted the co-op in Holston, their head office, and sort of persuaded them, and they very kindly allowed us to have a full-size collection dog in their store in Holston. Also, we've done some talks for cubs before the lockdown, cubs and ladies groups, and recently, about a couple of weeks ago, we did the U3A Beccles branch. Recorded a talk with them regarding puppy walking and this sort of thing, because as puppy walkers, this is our 4th puppy.
Yes.
So we had, the first one was George, who was a golden Labrador. He got withdrawn due to elbow displacement, unfortunately.
Oh.
Second one was William, who made the grade and is now a working guide dog in Lowestoft.
Oh, nice.
So on odd occasions we do see him, and we have boarded him.
Oh.
Third one is Idris, who I spoke about earlier, who is now at Redbridge, because he went into training in February for his training, advanced training, but of course the dreaded COVID kicked in. Redbridge had to take all their dogs out of kennels.
Yeah.
So we said we'd have him back and look after him, which we thought would only be for a short time. It ended up 5 months. And he's just got, well, I say just gone back. He's been in Redbridge for about 9 weeks now. So hopefully he hasn't forgotten what he has learnt and will continue to make the grade. But going back to the fundraising side of things, we obviously are trying to sell the usual things like Christmas cards, this sort of thing. But during the lockdown, in the early start of lockdown, we obviously wasn't going to supermarkets, etc., to do fundraising. So I thought, well, what could we do? So I wouldn't say I was a keen gardener, but I don't mind gardening, and I had an abundance of tomato plants.
Right.
So I thought, well, perhaps I could sell them for guide dogs at the bottom of the drive. So I put a little table up with a collection box, honesty box, and started selling these tomato plants. Well, they kept selling, so I thought, well, okay, there's only a limited time for that. What else could I do? Mike and Teresa luckily had things like plums and pears to an abundance of, so I was selling them. Then I started making bird boxes to sell and wooden garden trellis work.
Yes.
So it ended up being quite a successful. I suppose we've made about 350, nearly £400 just at the bottom of the drive.
Wow.
Just selling odds and bobs, so to speak. Then after talking to the group, our little group, we thought, well, it'd be lovely if we could do some sort of calendar. But obviously we had to get permission from guide dogs, because there were quite a few stipulations in the sense of, excuse me, we couldn't use any official logos because guide dogs have got their own official calendar. So after lots of, mainly my wife going backwards and forwards talking to people at guide dogs, and saying that we wouldn't use any official logos, printed this calendar that obviously not knowing how many we would sell, because it's quite a blind thing. We've never done excuse me, anything like this before. So we took the plunge and ordered 100. Excuse me, just one sec. Not knowing whether they would sell or not. Well, excuse me. Well, we've been really pleased in the sense of selling so well that we've had to get in contact with the printers.
Get some more ordered. Oh my God. Wow.
So there's another batch which are coming next week. So if everybody buys so far, which they've agreed to, I mean, we've sold 100 anyway. We've probably sold about 130 already.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
I know that we have produced them ourselves, but they are a lovely calendar. And if I can just
yeah,
show
let's have a look. Are these your puppies, right? Or are they just other?
This is the front cover.
Oh.
So
I recognise that photo.
Yeah.
It was on Facebook, wasn't it? Yes.
That's it. Yeah. Vinny's in the middle. That's our retriever, and then Idris is the one on, depending on how it looks, on the right.
Yeah.
Also
babies.
And then hold on, just 1 second.
Turn it over. Just trying to. Oh, yeah. That's how they look on the inside.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oops, that way.
Wow.
Right. And that's Spencer. He's a working guide dog locally.
Yes.
So all the puppies are working guide dogs, retired guide dogs, or puppies that are that are with someone, a puppy walker, and they're either living in Norfolk and Suffolk, or they're friends of ours that have brought their pups up to see our pups.
Yes.
So so they come up on holiday, sort of thing. And here's one. This is Vinny's sister, Vita. Isn't she pretty?
Oh, they are so adorable. It's like some of them are just the most. Like Zoran is again. He's one of the most. He's the best looking dog ever.
Yeah.
The trouble is, he knows it as well, and it's horrendous. He's like doing this before he goes out, sort of thing. Checking his makeup, sort of. He is, he really does know it. It's like anybody who utters the word beautiful outside, and he's going, who noticed me?
We were really lucky that we had some pictures that we already had in stock because, well, we're always taking pictures, aren't we, of dogs? But I put the appeal out across the Harleston group and our friends who've been up saying, you know, I need just to make life complicated, 1 landscape and 12 portrait. Well, that caused confusion for a start. And then, of course, we're inundated, and there's Teresa and I one afternoon sitting there going, oh, we want to put that one in. No, we can't put that one in. If we do that, we can't have this one. So quite agonising trying to decide who's going to go in the calendar, but we finally did, and we tried to put at least one picture of every dog in that we knew, so that there wasn't any. Where's my dog?
Favoritism. I know.
We tried to do that.
So, I mean, this is amazing. We'll put any contact details in. If anybody wants to order the calendar, then we'll put a link in under this Facebook post. Anyway,
the easiest way is just to email us.
Yeah.
On and then we can come back to you and arrange about the payment and the postage sort of thing.
Okay.
The cost of the actual calendar is £5. The size A4 size, full colour, and postage for a single calendar is £1.83.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, no, we'll sort out all those links around the post. Can I just ask?
But reasonable.
Oh, can I just ask? Right. Yeah. So, how did you guys get involved with guide dogs? Because you do all of these amazing things for us, and you know, we really are so grateful to you, because you know, without you, that this charity just simply wouldn't exist.
It started about 6 nearly 7 years ago. I retired a year earlier than I should have done from work. And obviously my wife was still working at that time. So I thought I needed something just to keep me occupied till at least we were both retired together. So I happened to go up the Bexley Heath High Street, and in the shopping centre there was a stall advertising guide dogs and a chap with a puppy.
Yes.
And I got talking to him, and he said he was a puppy walker, and he explained what puppy walking was to me. I came home that afternoon, went straight onto the website, contacted guide dogs and applied to become a puppy walker, not telling my wife, by the way.
I was just going to say, at what point did you say we're getting it?
I think my wife found out when I was being interviewed for the...
He announced it, that there was someone coming to view the house, and I'm thinking, are we selling it? No, to see whether or not we were puppy safe. What do you mean, puppy safe? And
I shouldn't snort. This is so funny.
So, yes, okay.
So, as I said, my wife didn't realise till I was making an appointment for the supervisor to come and inspect the house to see if we were suitable to be puppy walkers.
Yeah. We had Labradors before, but we had to stop having those because we were both never home, and it wasn't fair on the dog. So it was an opportunity to come back. We'd always said we'd get dogs when we retired or when we went part-time, but yes, he still has days when I could hit him quite happily for doing things like this to me.
So luckily we were accepted to become puppy walkers, and then we had the wait like...
that saved the marriage, right, Richard?
Just put a test on the marriage, yes.
Yeah, I packed up and left at that point, yeah.
And like I say, well, I think we had to wait something like 6 months before we got the first puppy. And got the first puppy, which was George. And since then, sort of never looked back. Went to a lady got in contact with us in Bexley, who was trying to start up a fundraising group. Went along to her house one evening. There again, that was a very small group, and sort of got involved with not so much her, but the group, and it just sort of flourished from there. I mean, the Bexley group is quite a substantial group, and they do lots of work. And then we decided we wanted to move to Norfolk because eventually my wife had plans of retiring, and as I said, I was already retired. So we bought a place in Workwell in Norfolk. But then we had the worry because, unfortunately, guide dogs, as a lot of people know, guide dogs don't do puppy walking in Norfolk.
No, which is terribly sad because it's kind of an ideal place for bringing up young dogs, isn't it?
So many people have come up to me when I've been out and about. I just feel I'm an ambassador for guide dogs because people just come up to me all the time and ask how can they get involved. And unfortunately, I have to turn around and say, well, you know, I'm just lucky at the moment, but unfortunately we can't do puppy walking up here. And I have been told that the chances of one after Vinny is going to be very, very slim. So unfortunately, that's the sad side.
Well, it might all change, you know. I don't know how the puppy walking supervision is taking place really, but I suspect with a lot of our contact going on to Zoom and sort of virtual platforms, that are they trialing that at the moment? Is that something that...
Well, that has been my argument because basically the argument for puppy walking is the supervisor has to come and inspect you and the puppy every 3 to 4 weeks in the home environment. Well, obviously during COVID, we haven't had that because I haven't been coming up and out to visit. So, I mean, my argument is, well, surely with Zoom and everything else nowadays with the technology, and I've always said from the word go that I would travel to them rather than them coming to me if it meant having another puppy. But it's just a battle I'm fighting at the moment, unfortunately.
Well, fingers crossed, things are moving at pace. So, I would say that a year ago, what I'm doing right now would have been like, I don't think so. And now it's, it's kind of the norm, isn't it?
Attitudes have totally changed in the last few months.
Yeah, they
have. Much more can do now.
Yeah.
And can do out of necessity.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, right. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow at our forum. And yes. And then I'll, just for everyone out there, tomorrow Norwich Garda Forum has its virtual forum meeting on Zoom rather at the Annesley Hotel. And we have some wonderful guests coming. We've got Shelley and Helen, because actually, amongst other things, we celebrated our 5th birthday in June. And nobody realised, because we were so in the middle of being a pandemic, that we all completely forgot that we were actually 5 years old as a forum. So we're going to possibly touch upon that a little bit tomorrow. I think everybody's banned from singing Happy Birthday. It never comes right out on Zoom, so I'm just saying I'll be in charge of the mute button. I may just be. I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, so but look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we'll post any links and any promotional material that you've got around the calendars around to everyone, because it just looks such a beautiful calendar, and I think £5 is reasonable. So yeah, I think you could probably put me down for one of those as well. Yes,
that's our seed coming on.
I can show it to my little I've got a German Shepherd Collie cross who they're supposed to be really obedient and all the rest of it. This one is just an absolute terrorist. I mean, Floss is just an absolute nightmare. She's actually, she gets properly cross. So maybe it's because it's the first girl dog I've ever had, but her temperament is so fiery. You'd think, ooh, where did that come from? Boys are so much more chilled, excitable, but just chill. They just don't take it personally. But she just takes everything so personally. So, anyway, right. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. This hasn't gone out live. I'm really sorry. I've had to record it. So I'm going to post it. Well, I'm going to do a bit of magic just now, and hopefully post it up in a minute. But but it's bye from me for now, and and I shall hopefully see you both tomorrow, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for taking part, and see everybody next week.